Hey, fifth grade, welcome to Distance Learning. We are really excited to connect with you guys. We hope you had a wonderful break and we're about to get started.
Yes, I'm so glad to see everyone here. I hope that you tell your friends if they're not getting online to come here.
Okay, so today is our first lesson and we're going to review author's purpose. We've already learned about author's purpose in both classes, so this should just be a really good review for you. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. So when you come to this, we're going to make this available for you to be able to look at when we're not with you so that you can go back and watch our video and look at all of the resources that we've posted on this site for you. So let's get started. We're going to go over this PowerPoint together. Oh, hold on. All right, author's purpose. So when we talk about author's purpose, we are talking about PI or pied. Remember, I had it on that black cabinet in my room. So the P is to persuade. Persuade means when you talk someone into doing something. Inform is for informational purposes. Entertain and explain and describe. So when an author wants to entertain us, this is to entertain is when somebody tells a funny story or they just tell something that is for your reading pleasure. It tells what a person or a place is like in an interesting or a funny way. People usually like to read entertaining stories just for fun. Here are some examples of some entertaining stories. Charlotte's Web, Holes, Cinderella, those are all examples of just reading for pleasure or for entertainment. Now, inform is when you are being taught a lesson or shown how to make something. So you usually read something informational on a certain subject, like we discussed polar bears. You read all the information about the polar bears and you actually are learning something. And we talked about sharks at one point. So it would be things, it would have things like diagrams and charts and captions under pictures telling you like where an animal lives, what they eat, if they migrate or things like that. So things that are like non-fictional books, newspaper stories. So lots of stuff that you're hearing about the coronavirus right now, that is all for information. You can also use reference books like dictionaries and encyclopedias to learn new information. All right, so persuasion. When an author is trying to make the reader agree with someone about something that they think is important. So we've talked about school uniforms and things like that, whether or not we thought you should wear school uniforms, and you try to persuade me one way or the other on school uniforms. So these can be found in things like editorials in newspapers, magazines, speeches, or when you're trying to talk your mom into letting you go to your friend's house, that is persuasion. Or if you're trying to talk your parents into letting you have a new dog or a new pet, and you're telling them all the really great things and how you're going to be responsible, that is persuasion. And then explain is when the author gives directions on how to do something. It tells you all the steps in the process, like an instruction manual, a recipe, a how-to book. And then describe. The author uses descriptive words. So when we were doing our writing, when we were in school, and I would say, okay, now I want you to use your 5 senses to describe, that would be like what we're talking about here. When you describe things like that you eat, how does it taste? How does it smell? How does it feel? What can you hear? Those kinds of things help you describe. All right, so that is the PowerPoint. And so I put a good little visual right here so that you can access it easily for persuade, inform, explain, entertain, and describe. I've also linked a video that you can watch on your own time that also talks more about PI. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to practice in iExcel together, and then you're going to be responsible for finishing this up on your own. So Mrs. Landers is going to lead us in practice.
Okay, so we're going to do 5 examples for you all, and then you will do the rest on your own. The first question, and Mrs. Hurt is going to answer it. Okay, are weeds taking over your garden? Hire green thumb gardeners to prepare your garden for spring. What is the text's most likely purpose? To persuade, to inform, or to entertain? What do you think, Mrs. Hurt?
I think it is to persuade. And the reason I think it is to persuade is because it sounds like an ad, like somebody is trying to get you to use their company for your gardening needs.
I think you're right. Let's see.
Woohoo!
Got it right. Okay, here's the next one. Read the text below. There was once a man named Dave who lived his whole life in a cave. His manners were bad, but you shouldn't be sad. Think of the writ he did save. Is this persuade, inform, or entertain?
Well, I know that poetry is written for entertainment purposes, so I think that this is a poem because I see
Right.
rhyming, I see
Correct.
rhyme scheme, and so I think that this is for entertainment.
Okay, let's see if she's right.
Yay!
Very good. Okay, the next one. The summer is the best time of year to visit the Richmond Water Park. Come see our most popular ride, the Super Slide. Would that be to persuade, to inform, or to entertain?
Okay, so I think it is to persuade.
I think you might be right. Why do you think that?
Okay, I think it's persuade because it sounds like it says summer is the best time of the year, and it says come see our most popular ride. So it sounds like they're trying to talk me into visiting their water park. So maybe it's an ad or commercial or something like that.
I think you're right. See if she's right.
Yay!
All right, we've got two more. There's a reason fish live in salt water. Pepper makes them sneeze. Is this to persuade, to inform, or to entertain?
It's kind of a funny joke.
Yeah.
I think because it is a joke, I think it's for entertainment. Because
Okay.
it's definitely not teaching me anything and it's not talking me into anything. So I just think it's for funny, to be funny.
Okay.
All right. Yay.
You're
We're doing
right.
good.
And the last one, she's doing really good. Kangaroo Juice's delicious mixture of orange, apple, and strawberry will keep you jumping all day. Drink up. Is this to persuade, to inform, or to entertain?
Again, I think it is to persuade. And the reason I think it is to persuade is because it sounds like an ad and it's not because they're saying drink up and it'll keep me jumping all day. And that's exactly what I need to get through the day is something that gives me energy. So I think they're trying to persuade me into buying this delicious drink.
I think you're right.
Yay!
Very good.
Okay, so now you have to go in and do that on your, finish it up on your own. And you can go directly to this Google site and all you have to do is click on it and it'll open the exact one that you need. All right, so your homework for today is going to be these task cards. So we're going to do about 4 of them with you, and Miss Landers is going to explain the directions. Let me stop sharing, Mrs. Landers, so they can see. Go ahead.
All right, so when on your paper, you will put your name at the top, just like we have practiced, and then you will number your paper, and you will either write persuade. We want you to write the whole word, so look real close to see that you know how to spell it. Inform or entertain, and you'll do that with each of your answers. So we will do the first 4 with you, so you will know how it's done.
Okay, perfect. So let me share my screen again. Can you see my screen, Mrs. Landers?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Let's get started. Number 1. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess named Charlotte. She lived in a beautiful castle with her father and her mother. Charlotte was the most beautiful girl in all of the kingdom. What is the author's purpose? Do you want to?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask you if you would hold up your sign so that they could see how to spell.
Right. Okay. There you go.
There you go. All right. Very good. So on your paper, on number 1, you're going to write, is this to persuade, inform, or entertain? Mrs. Landers, what do you think the answer is?
I think the answer is to entertain. And the reason why I think that is fairy tales or Mother Goose rhymes or whatever are always to entertain.
Okay,
so
perfect. Very good.
So I'm going to write this on my paper like that, entertain.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. That looks good. All right, number 2. Frogs are amphibians. They can live in either land or in water. A frog can lay thousands of eggs called frog spawn. What is the author's purpose of this task card?
Okay, so look on this and see the 3 that you can pick from. And I think it is to inform. This is informing you about frogs. It also has a second answer. Go ahead and read that for us.
Okay, is it literary or an informational text? But what happens if you don't know what is literary, Mrs. Landers? Can you explain that?
Yes, literary is just like for your reading entertainment. It's a piece of author's work or just a piece of writing.
Okay,
So
for
that's just
entertainment
for your
purposes.
right.
And so we've already kind of decided that the purpose was to inform, so it must be an informational text. And it's nonfiction and it's teaching us about where frogs live, so it has to be informational.
So you could just write that informational down next to number 2, like I'm going to do, like that.
Okay, oh,
Slide,
that looks
like
good. Perfect. Okay, number 3. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and whipped them all soundly and put them in bed. What is the author's purpose?
again, this is Mother Goose, and so this is going to be to entertain. I hope that's what you all thought. So I'm going to write entertain down on number 3.
Okay,
Like that.
perfect. Perfect. Okay, so number 4, and this is the last one we're going to do with you. So you should eat ice cream because it is so good. You can choose from many flavors. You could eat it in a bowl or in a delicious cone. What is the author's purpose?
This one, I think, is to persuade. So I'm going to write persuade down on number 4 because it is persuading you to eat ice cream. I
Okay,
don't have
perfect.
to have persuasion for that.
Right, exactly. Yes, that's right. Can I have a bowl and a cone? Just kidding. Okay, so there are a total of 16 cards. It should not take you very long to complete this task. You will find this in your packet or on this site, and so you don't really need the paper, but if you aren't able to get on the internet on the site, we have it linked right here. All you'll have to do is click on it and it'll pull up and you'll just scroll down. So Mrs. Landers is going to talk to you about epic reads and your writing assignment, and then class will be over. Yay.
All right, boys and girls, I'm going to talk to you a minute about epic read. We're going to do just like we did in my classroom. I will have a assignment that will be in your mailbox that you will click on, and it will be author's purpose. There are several books. I want you to pick 2 that you want to read this week, and we will be asking you questions. Those are due on Friday. Please have those 2 books read, and they do not have to be on your level. Okay, they can be a little bit lower than your level, but I just need you to do 2. Also on your writing, this will be what we do every week. So I really won't have to go over these directions with you each week. We are going to have you write 1 paragraph telling about what you did that week or that day, really. That should say each day. And then number 2, I want you to write 1 paragraph telling about what world events are occurring because we are right now in history. We are making history with this pandemic. So I'm going to just read for you really quickly or show you what I did. I just took some paper, which I
Hold
really
on.
do have.
I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see your paper up close, okay?
Okay. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
So I really do have a notebook, but I just did this so that I could hold this up, and you can see that it's not perfect, and that's not what I am going for today. I'm going for that you can journal. It's going to be like your journal. And so this was yesterday, what I did yesterday, and I want you to write 1 paragraph. And it says, I knew it was going to be a great spring day when I woke up, put my feet on the floor, and looked towards the bedroom window. All my eyes spied were sunshine, golden warm sunshine. Stewie and I spent most of the morning sitting on the porch. I drank my coffee and Stewie chased birds, and he was annoying because he kept barking. And it was a good Thursday. So just, something to let us know how you're doing. And then this is kind of like history making, boys and girls. It's like Anne Frank. If you read Anne Frank's diary, this is kind of like what you could do with your own children one day, or just with just you can look back on this as a history making event. So this is what I put, and I also put history, and I put the date. So you can put the date so you'll know each day what day it was. It says, if someone would have told me at the beginning of March that our school year was ending after spring break, I would have said, you're crazy. There is no way. Well, guess what? This is the first year in history that the U.S. or the United States has closed school because of a pandemic. Not only that, but we are also quarantined to our houses. They have closed almost everything down except grocery stores and restaurants, but you can't go in and eat. This is a history-making stuff that's happening right now. So that's just kind of, just give you an example. Each day, I want you to write in your journal daily, and then you will send that to me through email.
Okay, and are we going to turn everything in on Friday, or?
Yes, we'll turn everything in on Friday. I will be able to access your Epic Reads to make sure that you're reading your 2 books. And then also, if you'll email me your journal entries, that would be great. And the email address is up on the screen right now.
And so we will both be checking this email to check your work. We're only going to make you send it to one email so it doesn't get confusing. Okay?
Right.
All right. We hope you enjoyed your first virtual lesson. We had so much fun today. And we are going to be hosting some live Zooms where you can jump on a couple times a week, and we can help you with any work that you need help with, or we thought about on Fridays maybe playing some Kahoot, but there'll be more information about that soon. Okay?
All right. Great to see you all.
See you later, guys.
Bye.